Hello everybody, welcome back to our course Kali Linux Fundamental course. We will talk about module 3 today. We will discuss the color reference in Kali Linux, why we see some objects are in blue and others in green and so on, what is the difference between these colors. Then we will discuss the file system hierarchy standards, or the FHS. Then we will discuss the file permissions in letters format, because we can refer to the permissions given to a specific file or a specific folder to a specific user or group or other users on the system using the letter format or using the octal number format. So let's start. First, when you list the contents of any folder you have on your system, you will see some objects in the blue color, others are in green, others are in sky blue, and so on. So every color of these colors refers to a specific type of these objects. So for example, if you see a blue color, this means that it is a directory or a folder, and if it is a green color, this means that it is executable or recognized data file, like any tool you want to install and so on. It will be executable file. If it is sky blue, this means it is a simple link file or another file which is found in another folder. So for example, if you have a file on your desktop folder and there are another folder that contains a text file, I want to open it from desktop folder, you have to create a simple link for this file, so it will be in the sky blue color. We also have the yellow with black background, which means that it is a device or a driver for a device like the sound card or network card and so on. You have also, you may see also a pink color, which refers to a graphic image file or JPG and so on. You can see some other files are in red color, which means it is an archived or zipped files. And the final color you can see, it is the red with black background, which refers to a broken link. For example, if you have a link for some file, for example, it is a text file, and this file was removed, it will be its link for this file will be for sure be broken link, so it will appear in the red with black background. So these are the color reference in Kali Linux. Next, we will discuss the file system hierarchy standard, or the FHS. As we can see, everything in Kali Linux is considered as a folder. So we have some common folders. As you can see, these are not all the areas or folders on Kali Linux, but a few key areas, not all the folders in Kali Linux. So for example, the folder called bin, which contains the basic programs, some commands we usually use in our daily activities on Kali Linux, like the ls, which listed the contents of any folder, makdir or mkdir, which is used for creating a new folder, and so on. Here in this folder, the bin folder, we will find more commands that we usually use during our daily activities in Kali Linux. The next folder we will talk about, which is the root folder, which is an administrator's personal files. Like in Windows, all users have a profile folder which contains the personal files for this user. We have also the MNT or the mount folder, which contains temporary mount points. If you have attached a USB drive or something like this, you will find it in this folder, temporary mount points. Also, we have the etc folder, which contains the configuration files, as we will discuss in the next videos, that any surface in the Kali Linux, most surfaces actually have a configuration file. You can use these configuration files to change the configuration for this specific surface. So to find these configuration files, you have to go to the folder called etc. Also, we have the folder dev or device files, which is the drivers for all the devices we have in our system. So as you can see in the screenshots on the right, the folder bin may contain the command ls, mkdir, echo, bash, which is used for running the bash script, and so on. Most of the common and basic programs will be found in this folder. Also, we have the folder which is etc, which contains the configuration files. As we can see, here are some configuration files for our programs, like the Postgre, for example, database, and so on. Also, as we can see here in the net, currently we don't have any mounted points, so this folder is empty. And the last one, which is dev, which contains, as we said, some devices files and so on. So I will show you a good representation for this hierarchy. As we can see, once we open the terminal window, for example, we will be in this folder, the root directory, and from there we can go to any of these folders. As you can see, we can go to the pen folder, etc folder, spen, and so on, which contains some files, and we can use it during our daily activities to configure a specific service and so on. So this is the presentation, great representation to show the most common folders in our Kali Linux machine. Now we will discuss the permissions in Kali Linux. Actually, permissions are given either to a specific user or a group which this user belongs to, or to all users or any users on this machine. We can do so to specify the permission to this user and group and other users using two different formats. We can use it with the number format, as we can see on the left. Each number refers to a specific permission. So, for example, 0 is referred to the no permissions on this file or folder. 1 refers to execute permission. 2 for write. 3 for write and execute. 4 for read, and 5 for read and execute. 6 for read and write, and 7 is the full control or read and write and execute. So if we want to give the specific user the full permission, for example, we can use the number 7, which refers that he has the read and write execution. And if we want to give the group which this user belongs to the permission, for example, let's say we want to give the group the read permission only, so the number will be 74, and the read permission only also for the others users on this system, so the full permission will be 744, which refers that the users have full control, and both the group and other users have the read only permissions. Otherwise, we can use the letters format, which we will use some symbols like the letter R for read permission, and letter W for write permission, and X for execute permission. So we can give no permissions for the user and groups and others users by writing the dashes, as you can see in the first row of this table. And there are no letters for R or W or X, so this means no permissions to any of the users or group or other users on this file or folder. If you want to give the execute for the user, for example, you can put X, which refers to execute permission, as we said. For the group means this is execute X. If we want to give the write permission, will be W, as we can see, and if we want to give the write execute, will be WX. and read will be R, and read execute will be RX, and read write will be RW, and so on. If you want to give the full control, as we said, we can use the RWX. So as you can see in the bottom screenshot, we can see that this file called abg.conf, the user have the read and write permission, but don't have the execute permission, and the group have the write permission, as well as the other users have the write, the read permission on. But in the second row of this table, as you can see, we see a new symbol, which is D, which refers that it is a directory. So ABM is a folder. The user have a permission of read and write and execute. The group have read and execute permission, and other users have read and execute permission. So from reading these permissions, we can see this result by typing, when we are, for example, inside the desktop folder, we type ls command to list the content and add the option of -la, which will show us the permissions of all the contents given to the users or groups or other users on this system. So this was a very quick demonstration to the permission inside the Kali Linux. I hope you understand well what we have discussed today, and if you have any questions, please contact us on our Facebook group, Information Security Tutorials. Goodbye.